see how this goes. Alright, we're gonna try this again with the Stanley Parable. See how this works. Dismiss, and whatever. Crows, crows, crows. Oh. English. Do we want subtitles? I don't know. Do we want subtitles? Let's do subtitles. Have you played this game? Yeah. Yes, but it's been such a long time, I don't know if I remember anything about it. And actually, no, I never played the Stanley Parable. I've only played the deluxe version, so no. Let's try that. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Hey, there it is. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that, because it's literally like right there. Yeah, I'm going to keep it a little brighter so I can actually see things. Kind of blind. Please enter the current time. 6. Oh. By the time we're done, it will be 6:16, so okay. Confirm. Accessibility settings can be accessed from the main menu. Good to know. Good enough. Begin the game. Alright, here we go. Oh. Probably rather watch the game, wouldn't you?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
See if we can get the narrator to say something.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Let me in.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Hey, Utah. Sorry. Nothing out. That's the worst window ever. Oh, that's funny. The dirt on this window is the exact same as the dirt on this window. Weird. How does that even happen? Okay. Weird. I hate Mondays. Don't we all, brother? Don't we all? For 83 or 4B3?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Number 1, Dad.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Uh-oh. Oh, dear. We locked out? Let me guess, the door shut over here, didn't it? Kind of, yep, said. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
This game? This is Stanley Parable. Ultra something.
This is it, Stanley.
Whatever it says in the
your
title.
chance to redeem yourself.
I got
to
burned
put
out
your
on
work
Subnautica.
aside, to let
I tried
her
playing
back
Sniper
into your life.
Sniper Elite.
She's
Tried
been
playing
waiting.
Sniper Elite. It did not suit.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Oh, okay.
To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I mean, I'm trying. Of course I am. I hate this game. I hate Streamlabs. Oh, what happened here? Did I just die? Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving
You know what?
wife?
I
They want to commit their life to you?
Okay. I set in this that I'm playing the Stanley Parable. I am kind of getting fed up with Streamlabs desktop. Somebody said that OBS is exponentially better, but I am not familiar enough with that to know much about it. Not to mention, I thought there was a way in Streamlabs while you're live to reconfigure, whatever it is you're doing. I have yet to figure out how that works. I guess I could Google it, but it's a Stanley Parable. It's a fun game. But it frustrates me that it still says that. So if I come in here, multi-streaming, new features coming soon, this is nothing general. Nope, stream overlay, I don't care, game overlay, blah, 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 get support. Streamlabs, update password, update two-factor authentication, add destination. See, there's nothing in here about saying, once you're live, and I thought there was a way to do this. I even tried going into Twitch itself to try and figure this out, but Whatever.
I'm trying to make a point
Oh, hold on. Close out of this.
here, Stanley.
Anyway.
I'm trying to get you to see something.
I see
Come
a
inside.
mannequin.
Let me show you what's really going on
I
here.
dare do this. Oh boy. Oh, that's creepy.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Ooh. Press L on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Wow.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to
boy.
do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building
Where'd the
had
TV
suddenly
go?
vanished off the face of the earth.
Creepy.
The thought excited him
There's
terribly.
a desk.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press L.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Okay. There's nothing there. Okay, there's a desk there. There's filing cabinets there. There's that there's no way to get in that room. But that room has a chair and a bed. KX.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Okay.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, now what? How long do you think we can go without pushing this button? Nice if the space bar worked, like jump. Can I sit in the chair? Nope. Kinda want to see if that minute hand moves. That's 57, right? Yeah. 10:57. I think that hand is moving. The minute hand. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's slowly moving. Alright, well, should we press J? See what happens?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Okay.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and
Please
Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay. The end is never the end is never the end. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's my question. How do you get over there? Because I kind of feel like you can't.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I do like a good employee lounge.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay. Can't do anything here, really. That's disheartening. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Yeah, it's always safe. Using slides to assure employee that everything's okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header. Some bevel on all the texts. This will ensure something. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yeah, I know. Can you go in the room closet? Nope. Oh, this machine is having the most difficult time even.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, you are. I just. No, you didn't. You've been.
No, bruh.
Yeah.
No, bruh. Don't want to hear bruh.
Wow, you took my.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Nobody did.
Unraveled,
Sure,
Stanley
nobody did
wondered in
anything.
disbelief who
Where's my flag?
orchestrated
The only
this.
time I was in a room was to let
I'm
Cora out,
I'm
and that was it.
online, honey. Everybody gets to hear you scream. Like a child.
Sheridan, the only time I was
Nobody
in the room
touched
was to
your
let
flag.
Cora out at 12. Where's my flag?
Honey, I don't know.
I didn't touch it. I literally walked in. I didn't even look anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know why I bother streaming.
And then I went out. I didn't even touch it.
Yeah, God.
Dark secret was being held from him.
Maybe I should wait until everybody's moved.
What he
out.
could not have
Be so
known
quiet.
was that the keypad behind the boss's
Ridiculous.
desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What open pass? Oh, over here. Okay.
Dad,
What?
who has been here?
Literally nobody, Sheridan.
Then where's my flag?
Sweetie, I'm not doing this with you right now. I don't know.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now?
Oh, 6:30. And I have not heard from Computer Guy. That's awesome.
When for years it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, it didn't.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Take my risk.
Broke what?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and...
I will be right back.
Oh, what's that, Brooklyn? Huh? I heard you. I'm not stupid. I didn't do anything. You had it. You know who had it. You know that I know. I don't know. I don't know. I've been on downstairs all day. I have no idea. Who took my flag?
Something just totally new. It's funny you should